Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and I have Mike with me and we are going to do a playthrough of Lord of the Rings. Yes, this is because we hit a specific level within our Patreon account, so thank you to all the Patreons for your awesome support. We appreciate it, and because of that we're going to do this Gen Con scenario called The Ruins of Belegost. This is one of the most challenging scenarios, so be ready for us to lose. But I did try and make two pretty powerful decks, so hopefully we'll be able to at least last for a bit, and then we'll probably die. So what we're doing now is we are going to play this. He's on Skype with me, and we're each going to individually record our setups. So I'm going to show you the quest and then the setting up my deck. He'll then I'll splice it over to him setting up his deck, and then we're going to try and record concurrently, and I will edit the two together. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to do the same thing for Arkham Horror, the card game, because as you know, that is Mike's favorite. So, without further ado, let's jump in. You have entered the dark, half-sunken ruins of Belegost in search of powerful artifacts and ancient treasure. We have set up here that we add the stocking of the ruins and one copy of Abandoned Mine per player to the staging area, so we'll have two of those. Set Lurker of the Depths, Narlug's Lair, the Sword of Belegost aside out of play. We also need to randomly select one of the 5 remaining loot objectives and place it face down under stocking the ruins without looking at it. Then we'll have to shuffle the others into the encounter deck. I picked this scenario because I do know that Mike loves a good dungeon delve, and this is definitely a dungeon delving scenario. We're going to be finding this loot, and we're going to be leveling up our characters with that loot, which is nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, shuffle them up, randomly choose one, put it underneath the Stocking of the Ruins card, and the other 4 will then get placed randomly into the encounter deck. Here we have the staging area for our scenario. We have forced. At the beginning of the quest phase, place 1 resource on Stocking the Ruins. Then, if there's at least 3 resources here, add or return Narlog to the staging area. When the players advance to a new quest stage, discard all tokens from Stocking the Ruins, then set Narlog aside, out of play. Great. So when we first start, Narlog, which is this dragon, he's a 7 attack, 20 health, immune to player card effects, cannot take damage dragon. He will be off of the out of the staging area for the first 2 to 3 rounds. At that 3rd round, he's going to come in. X is equal to the amount of resource tokens on Stocking the Ruins, so he'll get more and more threat, and then he will be coming down and engaging us. Wonderful. So we have to keep progressing through the specific quest cards to prevent that, because every time we move to a new quest card, we reset this card. We do have 2 Abandoned Mine cards. There's a Discover 2 keyword on here, and I'll show you how Discover works. Discover is specific to this scenario, so whenever we travel to a location that has a Discover keyword, we'll do something. Now, it says here that while Abandoned Mine is in the staging area, progress cannot be placed on locations in the staging area not named the Abandoned Mines. Basically, other locations we can't throw progress on them until we get rid of these ones. We do have a forced effect that states when resolving the Discover keyword on an Abandoned Mine, look at X additional cards, where X is the number of players in the game. Yeah, you'll understand that shortly. So that is the setup for this scenario. Oh wait, we got to read the B side of our quest card. Inside the Dwarven city, you can feel an evil presence stalking you, aka the dragon. It says here the players cannot advance unless they control at least 1 loot objective, so we have to find one of those loot objectives. We have to get 6 progress, and then it says at the beginning of the travel phase, if there are no locations in play, return the topmost location in the encounter discard pile to the staging area. Just because you want to continue traveling to locations, because that gives you the Discover keyword. We also have a forced effect that says when this stage is defeated, if Keys of Belegost, which is one of the loots, is attached to a hero, advance to stage 2C, otherwise advance to stage 2A. So the fun part is, depending upon what loot we find, we might go to different stage cards. That's another thing I thought Mike would enjoy. Well, you got to bring a power deck to a power scenario, right? So this is what I did. I brought in Elrond, Gandalf, and Smeagol. Smeagol's from the newest pack, you guys. He is pretty fun. He can be temperamental, but I really like him. So our total threat is 13 plus 14, which is 27, plus 3. Smeagol only is 3 threat, so we start at 30 threat. We have Smeagol has the ability that says cannot have attachments. You have to shuffle 2 copies of Stinker into the encounter deck. Terrible cards. Hopefully you won't ever see it. I've already shuffled them in. It'll be a surprise when you see them. I do have a response here that after you travel to a location, you can raise your threat by 1 to draw a card. Probably won't use that, but it's nice to have that ability. Gandalf, if you've seen any of my other playthroughs, you've probably seen him. He's a 3/3/3, 5 health. He's insane. You play with the top card of your deck face up. He's technically colorless, but whenever you play the top card of your deck, he's considered to have that specific resource type. So if I played a red card from the top of my deck, he's considered to have the printed red resource. And then Elrond over here, you can spend his resources for any type of ally. And then he has a response that after a character is healed by another card effect, heal 1 additional damage to him. So basically, powers up the healing because we need a lot of healing in this scenario. With that, let's go ahead and draw our first hand. Here we have our first hand, and don't forget the top card of our deck is face up. I love this hand. I'm going to keep it. You know why? I've got an Elfstone, which allows us, if we're first player, when we quest through that location I put Elfstone on, we could put Bjorn out for free. So I'm going to see if Mike's comfortable being first player, because if he is, I can throw this down next round and then be able to put out Bjorn. I also have a Test of Will and Vilya. Oh, and I have a way to get a pipe, which is awesome. Oh, do I have an extra card? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I have it right. Oh, what is this? I didn't even look. Oh, Warden of Healing. Yeah. Okay, and we need healing. And Expert Treasure Hunter for card draw. Yeah, this is a really nice starting hand, so we're going to keep that. Mike, what did you get?
But I'm really excited to do a Lord of the Rings playthrough with the master himself. I'll be honest, this game has never been a favorite of mine because I've often had frustrating experiences with it. But that's partly because I had a very small card pool to build from, whereas Colin has built me a really cool deck that really synergizes well from the huge amount of cards he has. So this is a Noldor deck, and kind of the key guy in here is Aristor. So he's going to let me draw 3 additional cards at the beginning of the resource phase. That means 4 cards instead of the normal 1. But then at the end of the round, I discard my entire hand. And then add on to that we have Círdan the Shipwright, who will let me draw an extra card at the resource phase, so that's 5 total, but then discard 1 of those 5 that I've drawn. So basically I'm going to have a ton of cards to play with every turn, but then I'll have to get rid of them. But you'll see Colin's built a lot of cool effects with discarding right into this. My final hero is Arwen, and she's got an action that again synergizes well. I can discard a card from my hand to add a resource to a Noldor hero's resource pool, and all of my guys are Noldor, of course. So this all adds up to 31 threat, which is a pretty high number. We'll see how we deal with that. And this is my starting hand. I did mulligan this already because my first one was not very good. And I got some key cards. I'm not going to focus on everything here, but some of these are really important. So To the Sea is huge in this deck. It has to go to a Noldor character. I can exhaust it and discard X cards from my hand to reduce the cost of the next Noldor ally, which is all of my allies, played this phase by X to a minimum of 1. So I can basically each turn, with all these extra cards I have, play some huge allies for only 1 or 2 resources using that. So that's a big part of my strategy. Another key card I got for Círdan is Narya. This is one of the Elven Rings. He gets a resource icon. That won't really matter very much. But I can exhaust it and the attached characters, that would be Círdan, to choose and ready up to 2 allies, and each of them gets +1 attack and defense till the end of the phase. So this is pretty great because I can quest with some of my allies and then bring them right back for some combat. The other cards aren't that important for right now. Lords of the Eldar wants to be in the discard pile. I have a bunch of cards like this and can then boost all of my characters, basically. Then I started with a couple of my possible allies. Region Survivor gets a +1 bonus to every trait when there's no cards in my hand. And then Elven Jeweler is a nice one to start with. I can discard 2 cards and put her into play without paying any cost at all. Finally, I got a decent little event for 0 cost. I can lower my threat by 3, and then a little minor bonus, get +1 questing for one of my characters. And just to save a little time in the main playthrough, I'm going to go and take my first resource draw as well. So I've got another To the Sea. That's going to be useless because this is a unique card, so I can only have 1 in play. I've got 2 Imadris Caregivers. I can discard cards to heal characters, but not too great. I was hoping for a really expensive ally and didn't get one yet. And then finally, I got a Tactics card, which you might be confused why it's in the deck, but you'll see why in a moment. This is Raiment of War. It goes on a warrior. It counts as both their restricted attachments. But they get +1 attack, +1 defense, and +2 hit points. And here's why this card works in this deck. Reforge, you can pay X to get a item from your discard pile that costs X, or any attachment actually, and put it back on a character. So I could get something like Raiment of War from my discard pile with that. Per Sirdan's ability, I have to discard one of those 5 cards I just drew, which will be Raiment of War, since again I can only use that from my discard pile with this deck. So that's what I've got to start with, a ton of cards. None of the rest of my turns will be this complicated, but we'll pause there and get on the line with Colin.
Well, Mike, sounds like you have an awesome hand. It also sounds like you're super excited. You know, I did tell everyone that they should all be rooting for how happy you are that you're playing this game today. So,
I do want to talk about this probably in like a future podcast, but I have been enjoying the plays I've had. First of all, with your deck, when I have a better card pool to like build a not terrible deck. And then also I have found the joys of playing on easy mode. Because I think maybe I just suck a little bit too much at the game to really enjoy it fully. So yeah, I've been having more fun than I expected to.
And I'll be honest, I don't think it's you suck. It's just that you aren't as masochistic as some other people are, right? I think that's really what it is.
Well, I mean that's also true. I certainly don't want to play the same scenario 5 times in a row.
Exactly, and try and figure it out. Okay, so you've already done your resource.
Well, yeah, I haven't. So here I will add some resources on my heroes, and now I'm good. I already did all my cards on my earlier video.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to draw my Test of Will, which is great. I'm going to flip up the top card of my deck, and Unexpected Courage. Awesome. That'll be great. So you're first player. Why don't you go ahead and play your cards first?
All right. So my play is going to be pretty simple. First of all, I'm definitely going to get To the Sea out. I'll use Arwen's resource for that. So let's put that up there. And I mean, well, technically it's on Arwen, but I'm just going to put it beneath her to make it more obvious when I'm exhausting it. And I will play Narya. Now this is kind of no sphere, unaligned, so it doesn't really matter. Well, I'm going to use Arwen's ability if I need to get an extra resource anyway. So yeah, I'll go ahead and play this. So that'll take both my remaining resources, and that goes on Sirdan. So he and Arwen have both got an attachment now. And I can play Elrond's Council for free, and let's go ahead and put it on, doesn't really matter. We'll say Arwen has the +1 questing ability this round, and my threat goes down to 28. I feel a little bit safer with that. What's your threat?
I see how it is.
I
see how it is. No, I'm the big one.
Threat
I'm 30.
Again?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Just how I like it.
I should have known. All
right, so it is your deck, man.
Yeah, I know.
So Elven Jeweler is nice because I can play her just by discarding 2 cards. So I'm definitely not going to be able to get my Reforged out this turn. And Lords of the Eldar wants to be in the discard pile anyway. So there we go. That's my 3rd card played in my first turn. So next I will discard To the Sea, Do the Sea to use Arwen's ability and put a resource on which of these guys do I want? Healing or no? Actually, I want to have nothing in my hand, but I'll have almost nothing in my hand. So I guess this guy might be better. Yeah, and he has 3 life. All right, so I'm going to pay 1 from Aristor, my green hero, after Arwen used her ability to add 1. Discard 1 and exhaust To the Sea, so that gets me up to a cost of 2. And that'll play... Oh, wait, crap. Never mind, not on Aristor. I want a blue hero. So we'll say Arwen had the resource. So I'll play another ally. Let's get you in frame. And so I do have this random card in my hand that I wish was not there, because that way I could make this guy a 2/2. But yeah, right now I don't have any way to discard it. So that'll be it for now. So again, I've got Arwen. She's getting boosted by Elrond's Council just this turn to be 4. Is that willpower? What is like the questing trait called?
Correct. It's willpower. And technically, you'd have to play it during the quest phases. It's only for the phase, but we'll let you take it.
Well,
this
yeah,
time.
I mean, okay, we'll put it to the side and know we're playing it. It has 0 cost.
Exactly.
But good to know. Yeah, and then I've got 2 allies out, attachments for Sirdan and Arwen. Good to go. So, Colin, go ahead and take your turn.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Expert Treasure Hunter. This allows me to, if this hero that I put it onto quests successfully, I can name the type of card on top of my deck and discard it. If I name it correctly, it goes into my hand. AKA, because I always know what the top card of my deck is, it's free card draw as long as we quest successfully. So I'll throw that onto Gandalf, which is great. I am going to drop Vilya using Smeagol's and Gandalf's resources, since Vilya is sphereless, doesn't have a color. Vilya will let me exhaust Elrond and Vilya to play the top card of my deck for free. So I'm actually going to do that right now. So what I'll do is I'll exhaust both of these. I'm going to play Unexpected Courage for free onto Elrond. Exhaust Unexpected Courage to bring Elrond back. We'll flip the top card.
Wait, you already have Unexpected Courage on Elrond?
Yep.
Wow. That's a good first turn.
Uh-huh. And I've got a Flame of Arnor on top of the deck. Ooh, that is nice. Let's see. I think with just one green resource left... I wish... Oh, no, actually, it could be blue. That's perfect. Since Vilya makes all of Elrond's resources blue, I've got a Test of Will in my hand, so I can cancel a Treachery if we need it. Perfect. So I think that's what we needed for the planning phase.
It sounds like a good first turn, man. We got 2 Elven Rings. We're like 2/3 of the way toward dominating the world.
Yeah, until we draw something where we have to discard them, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay, with this, let's go ahead and jump into questing. So who are you going to quest with?
All right, so clearly Círdan and Arwen. That'll give me 8. Now, what do we have so far?
8?
We got 2 Abandoned Mines. That gives us 4 to contend with.
That's it.
And then we can't fully advance through the first phase, but we can at least get it like filled up, right? So should I hang back with Aristor? Are you going to quest at all, or do you want me to like just go all in and you can keep your guys to actually deal with stuff?
Well, I definitely want to quest with Smeagol, just because he might actually turn into an enemy. So let's go. I'm going to quest with Smeagol. I could leave Gandalf and Elrond so I could defend and maybe even kill something, if you'd like. And if you want to quest out, since my threat's higher, so unless 2 enemies come out, I can very likely engage the 1 enemy so you don't have to.
Okay. Well, let's leave a single... I'll leave my Elven Jeweler to take a hit in case something crazy happens, but I'll quest out with everybody else. So I've got 2... so we'll say I played Elrond's Council during this phase. So 2, 6, 10, 11... Yeah, 11 willpower right now.
And then I'll just add 2 with Smeagol, so that's 13. So 13 to 4.
That's got to be enough.
That's not bad. Yeah. We'll go ahead and draw our 2 cards. Our first one is a Treachery. Doomed 1. When revealed, add 1 to the total threat in the staging area for each character controlled by the first player until the end of the phase. So what would that be, Mike?
That would
you're the
be
first player.
5.
You have 5 characters out already? 5 plus 4
that's
is
counting
9.
my heroes, right?
Yeah, it's characters. So that would be 9 total threat. How much did we quest for?
We quested for 13, right, with Smeagol, so we should be okay, even if a fairly nasty card comes out. So I would say let it ride. Well, yeah, that's right, because I'm thinking of my Test of Wills. They get discarded, but yours stay around for next turn, so...
You've got it. So I kind of want to keep mine. So let's just... Well, we have to do the Doomed 1. So I'll pop mine up to 31 threat.
All right, so I'm at 29.
Okay, and then we have... what was that? Total of 9 threat, we think? Total? We'll count right at the end. We'll flip the second card. Okay, we have the Sunken Treasure. This only adds 1 threat. It's a Discover 3. Sunken Treasure gets +1 threat for each loot objective we have. We don't have any. Awesome. So that only added 1 total threat. Thanks to Mike and his awesome math, we were able to quest a total of 3 above what we needed for being able to quest successfully. So we'll place 3 progress on the Ruins of the First Age. I did forget at the beginning of the quest phase, you guys, we had to place 1 resource on the Stocking of the Ruins. That's okay. Whatever that dragon's name is doesn't come out until there's 3, but we need to watch that because that happens at the beginning of the quest phase. So at the beginning of that 3rd quest phase, he comes out, and we have to deal with him. Because we quested successfully, I then... Oh, no, I don't get to do that because I did not quest with Gandalf. Bummer.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Sorry.
Uh-huh. No, it's okay. I only quested with Smeagol. That's all right. We had no enemies come out. Next, what we'll do is we'll move to the travel phase. So we get to decide, do we want to travel to the Sunken Treasury, or do we want to travel to the Abandoned Mine?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. The Abandoned Mine says you can't put progress on other locations, so we have to do the Abandoned Mines first. Is that right?
Ooh, great. Actually, but it's staging area, so you still can. It's just you can't do it while it's in the staging area. You know that northern tracker that lets you place progress across all locations that are sitting out in the staging area? Basically, the Abandoned Mine stops that.
Okay, so it doesn't affect whatever's the active location. All right, well then, which one gives us a better chance of actually getting some treasure?
The old Abandoned Mine will draw 4 cards for the Discovery keyword. For the Sunken Treasure, we'll draw 3 cards because it's only a Discover 3. And that's just because of the forced effect of the Abandoned Mine. It says that you deal an additional amount of cards. It's X. And X is the number of players in the game, so we'll actually draw 4 cards from the top of the encounter deck if any of those are loots, they'll be attached to the abandoned mine.
All right, yeah.
So you want to go there?
Let's do it.
And it gets rid of 2 threat. It gets rid of 2 threat in the staging area. So then what I get to do, I get to take this deck, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take the top 4 cards. Oh, we have a loot. Sweet. Our one loot is the Dwarven Torch. I'm not going to look at it. We'll just take that. I'm going to attach that to the active location. So when we progress through that location, hopefully next round, when we progress through that location, then whoever's the first player will attach that loot to one of their heroes. But we don't have all good stuff. If any of these items, actually none of them, and we got rid of Stinker, by the way, none of them have the hazard keyword, so we don't have to do anything. If any of them had the hazard keyword, we'd have to take all the cards that have the hazard keyword, shuffle them up, and reveal that one of them. Okay, so that actually will end the round because there's no enemies. Our staging area has only 3 total threat. So let's go ahead and end the round. I'll move my threat to 32. And then we'll go to the resource phase for the next round.
And my threat's going to 30, and I am discarding the 1 card I had left that I could not use because, again, Aristor is going to make me discard all the cards in my hand at the end of every round.
Moving into that next round, I have generated resources. Elrond has 2, everyone else has 1. I'll draw my Flames of Arnor. The top card of my deck will be a Gandalf staff. Sweet! Okay, the first thing we're definitely going to do is we're going to play Elfstone. So Elfstone says attach the active location, and the active location gets +1 quest points. So normally we only need 3 quest points to get through the abandoned mine. We'll need 4. But after the attached location leaves play, what we can do is the first player can put 1 ally from their hand into play for free. So I can put out Bjorn, which will be sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the abandoned mine. That costs 1 green resource. Then I'm going to pay 1 from Gandalf and 1 from Smeagol. You never want to leave Smeagol with resources, okay? Because if he turns into Gollum, you lose everything on him. But I'm going to spend those 2 resources to put Gandalf's staff on Gandalf. Now, this staff is amazing. It is restricted. You can only attach it to Gandalf. And it says, exhaust Gandalf's staff to choose one of the 3 things. Choose a player to draw a card, add 1 resource to a hero's resource pool, or discard a shadow card from a non-unique enemy. Kind of awesome. With that, I have 1 resource left. I think I'm going to still hold that for my test of will just in case. So over to you, Mike.
All right, so I put 1 resource on each of my characters. I've drawn an Elven Male, which will be my 1 discard from Sirdan's ability, leaving me with 4 allies this turn. So I've got Elro here, who's just a 1/1/1, but if I can get his brother in play, then he'll become a 3 defense, good blocker for us. 2 Sailors of Loon. These guys can get up to 2 willpower instead of 1, and they can't be damaged while on the quest if the top card of my discard pile is an event, which it won't be this turn no matter what. And then I wish I could play him, Gildor Inglorian, 3 willpower, awesome ally, could let me switch cards out with the top card of my deck. But, unfortunately, I only have 1 green resource, and discarding 3 cards would still only get me to 4 using to the sea. And, discarding another card to use Arwen's ability to put a resource on Aristor would still leave me with the same 4 max, so I cannot get him into play. So,
well, Mike, before you decide what you're going to do, why don't I go ahead and use that wonderful staff so that you can generate 1 more resource for one of your heroes?
Well, there you go. I put it on him. So that will be to the sea, discarding 3 cards to make Gildor cost only 2 this round instead of 5. And Aristor will pay those 2 from his resource pool. So we've got Gildor. Again, he's a 3/2/3, 3 life. Exhaust him to look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Switch one of those cards with a card from your hand, which won't help me right now because my hand is empty. Then return the top 3 cards to your deck in any order. So this gives me a little bit more choice in what my cards are each turn. But yeah, so that leaves me with 6 characters overall, and a heck of a lot of questing. Ooh, and my Eregian Survivor this round will be a 2/2/2 because I do have no cards in my hand, so very exciting there.
Let's quest. What do you say we quest, huh?
Yeah, that sounds better to start.
So what I'll do, since I'm first player, I'd like to send Gandalf this time, if that's right.
Absolutely.
I'd like to draw the top. I forgot to show you guys my top card is now another Vilya. Gross. But at least I can draw it then with my Expert Treasure Hunter. So I'm going to go ahead and quest for 5. 3 from Gandalf, 2 from Smeagol.
All right, I will So if I don't quest with Sirdan, I could use Narya in case something cruddy happens, and ready 2 of my allies with some good stuff. So let's, how much did you do, 5?
I did 5. And don't forget that Narya can be used across the table. So if we get Bjorn out, you could ready Bjorn and give him 4 defense or 4 attack. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Pretty awesome.
So we've only got 3 threat out right now, and of course we'd love to finish off the Abandoned Mine for 3 more. So we'd love to get at least 6 plus, let's say average 4 or
Actually,
5
7.
more. Or 7, okay.
Yes. Yeah, because of the quest, because of the Elfstone, because I threw that Elfstone and it puts up plus 1 quest point.
Okay, so we get at least 7 plus, let's say, an average of 5 or 6 if we're not too lucky of more. So that would be like, 13? So you've got 5 already. So if I do Arwen, that gets us to 8. If I do Aristor, that gets us to 10. Gildor, with the possibility of untapping him, that gets us to 13. Let's just do both of my... Okay, so I got us to 15. That seems like enough, 15. Hopefully, right?
I definitely think so.
So
I think
5,
that'll be good.
I've got 10. So the only person untapped is Sirdan, but hopefully I won't have to tap him. Then I can use Narya to untap 2 of my allies if we need them.
Perfect. And you know what? I'm realizing we started that quest phase. I have this up. Let's put a resource on the Stalking Ruins.
No, let's not. Let's not.
I know, right? Next round, you know that Narlog is coming out.
Well, but maybe he won't, because we will maybe have quested away from him with some loot.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I believe in us. Okay, so here we go. I've got our encounter deck. Let's flip. Oh, we have the Old Stone Troll. That adds 3 threat. It's a 6 attack, 3 defense, 8 health. He's terrible.
But he won't engage us until we get some loot to lower his threat, right?
Exactly, but then he'll just sit out there adding 3 threat, which I think actually isn't terrible for us though, because we can quest pretty well.
Oh yes, if I keep on getting allies out, definitely.
Our next one is the Abandoned Mine, actually. So looking here, we have a total of 8 threat in the staging area, and we quested for 15. That puts exactly 7 progress. While we needed 4 for the Abandoned Mine, because I put that Elfstone on there, and 3 for the Ruins of the First Age, we exactly did what we needed to quest through. So let me first show you guys the Dwarven Torch. So the Dwarven Torch, and this is going to be my loot since I'm the first player. It says, if unattached, the first player claims Dwarven Torch and attaches it to a hero he controls. Exhaust Dwarven Torch to choose 1 non-unique enemy that gets -1 attack and -1 defense till the end of the phase. Hey, that Old Stone Troll would work for that. I'll go ahead and attach that to Gandalf, because why not? Because I like making Gandalf a beast. So we'll put that on him.
And I seem to remember him having, maybe not a torch, but some light on the end of his staff when he was in Moria, so it seems appropriate.
Because we quested successfully, I'm going to say attachment. I will discard Vilya, and it is an attachment. Who would have thought? So it goes to my hand. We will then look at the next card that's the top card of our deck. Oh, it's another Expert Treasure Hunter. And then also because Elfstone was just played and I'm first player, I'm going to go ahead and play Bjorn for free out on the table. And he is ready now. I don't know, maybe we can take on this troll. Let's see. Looking at this Ruins of the First Age stage, we can see here a forced effect. When this stage is defeated, if Keys of Belegost is attached to a hero, advance to stage 2C. Otherwise, advance to stage 2A. So we're going to go ahead and move to stage 2A. Ancient Evils Disturbed. As you explore the partially flooded ruins of Belegost, you feel something wet and leathery brush past your leg. The sound of thrashing water echoes from somewhere in the darkness ahead of you, when suddenly a horde of slimy black tentacles strike at you. Add Lurker of the Depths to the staging area. Some hideous creature of forgotten age attacks your party. You must defeat it if you hope to leave Belegost alive. The players cannot advance unless they control at least 2 loot objectives, and Lurker of the Depths is in the victory display. Forced. When this stage is defeated, if Book of Alu's Children is attached to a hero, advance to stage 3C, otherwise advance to stage 3A. Here we have the Lurker, you guys. Not a fun one. You see the 50 threat and you go, oh, that's not bad. Well, you got to read his ability. So he's I shouldn't say 50 threat, 50 engagement cost. He's 4 threat, 5 attack, 2 defense, 12 health. He cannot have attachments. The Lurker of the Depths cannot be engaged or take more than 4 damage each round. While Lurker of the Depths is in the staging area, it's considered to be engaged with each player. So it's going to attack both myself and Mike each round, and we can only deal him a total of 4 damage each round.
Jeez.
The one good thing is the stocking of the ruins, we do get to remove both resources from here, so we'll have another 2 rounds before the dragon also comes out. Yay! Well, after that fun was revealed, let's go ahead and decide where we're going to travel, Mike. Do you want to go back to another abandoned mine?
I mean, it seems like that's the best option. It has more threat, and it's going to get us more cards looked at, right?
I mean, true. The Sunken Treasure now, though, it's considered a 2-threat location.
Oh, I see
and
that.
It's just going to get worse. But its travel effect is pretty terrible. Each player discards 1 random. Oh, actually, that's not terrible for me.
I mean, I have no hand right now, so...
Yeah, that's bad for me, though. I really don't want to discard a Test of Will. Oh, I have a Flame of Arnor. Oh, I have a 0-cost card on the top of my deck. That's worthless. But yeah, I'm totally cool going to the Abandoned Mine. And that means we have to reveal 4 cards.
Right. But by the way, I will note real quick, because I know someone's going to correct my math later. We actually had 16 willpower total, not 15. Because I forgot my Eregian Survivor had 2 because I had no cards in my hand. So there you go, YouTube comments. Heading you off in the past before you could get us.
That is totally amazing. Okay, here's our 4 cards. Are you ready for a hazard? If it's a discard ally from play, I'm going to cry. Okay, we have no loot. We have we have 2 hazards. They're both locations.
Wait, don't you still have not Will of the West? What's your canceling card?
Oh yeah, I do. Test of Will. The problem is I can't cancel locations with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll get the Secret Chamber. Let's read what this is. It's a Discover 3. After the players travel to Secret Chamber, if no loot objective is attached to Secret Chamber, search the encounter discard pile for a loot objective and attach it to the chamber as a guarded objective. So this is actually a really nice card to help us get a loot if we end up discarding one that we can't, it's been discarded, so we weren't able to attach it. This card, we can go to it and then attach one to it, which is nice. But we have to raise our threat to go there. So moving on to the engagement phase, we will only have the Lurker of the Depths we have to worry about. There is the old Stone Troll, you guys, but the Stone Troll has 50 engagement cost minus 10 because we have 1 loot, so that's 40. I'm only at 32 threat. Mike, what are you at?
30.
Perfect, 30. So we're totally good. So I'm not even going to look at that troll. Remember how I was talking about that before? Pretend I wasn't. So now I'm first player, so I have to defend against this guy. He attacks for 5. I'm going to be a wee bit risky because I can do the most damage this way, and I do have a Warden of Healing in my hand that I'm hoping to get out next round, and I can use that to heal Elrond. So I'm going to exhaust Elrond to defend against this. Elrond has 3 defense, and then right now I'm going to use Unexpected Courage to ready him, so he is ready and can attack later. So he's getting attacked for 5, and we have a shadow effect. If the attacking enemy is non-unique, no, it is unique. Attach the loot objective you control to a guarded objective. Okay, if this attack destroys a character, return the attacking enemy to the staging area. No, neither of those things happen. Great. So all we have is Elrond taking 2 measly damage. Huh, not bad. So now moving on to Mike, since I'm controlling the encounter deck, I'll go ahead and draw his shadow card, and he will tell us who he's going to sacrifice up to the Lurker.
So it might not be a sacrifice. If you're on my feed, you'll see what this looks like. I'm going to use Círdan. I'm going to exhaust him and also Narya. This readies 2 allies. I'll ready Gildor and Eregion Survivor. And that gives them plus 1 attack and defense for the phase. So that means Gildor's a 3-4, and Eregion with his bonus is a 3-3. So if I don't get a shadow card that'll add damage, I'm going to block with the Eregion Survivor. He's got 3 defense and 3 life. He will survive with 1 life left. So I'm hoping for that lucky result. So show us that shadow card, Colin.
If that happens, then we can have the Warden of Healing heal him too, which would be sweet.
That'd be great.
So... Oh, well, we have a loot objective. The map of Erluin will go into the discard pile, but that means that we can go to that secret chamber and put that on there.
Oh, awesome.
So that actually will, help us move along, which is great. But yeah, that's only 2 damage then, right?
Yep, so I'm putting the 2 damage on him. He's still alive. That was surprising.
I will totally take it. Now we'll go ahead and attack him back. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with Elrond and Bjorn. That's a total of 5 damage. 5 minus 2, we just did 3 points of damage to the Lurker. And remember, the most we can do is 4 a round. So all I'm going to ask Mike to do is 3 points of damage, because then we can get that 4th point of damage on him.
Well, I've got you covered because Gildor is plus 1 from Narya's lingering effect still in this phase. So he has a 3 attack. So he will tap. It's minus 2 armor from the Lurker. So that's 1 more damage through to reach our max of 4.
4 damage. Great. Okay. let's go ahead and end the round. Is there anything else you want to play, Mike?
Is there like some kind of card that destroys all locations in play? Because that'd be awesome.
Actually, I have 3 of the Northern Trackers, hoping that I will have them come out, but that's just about your deck.
All right, yeah, let's go in. My threat's going up to 31.
Okay, mine is going up to 33.